Hey everyone, what's going on? New series, Titan Tactics. So what's all this going to be about, guys? So basically what I'm going to be doing in this series is that I'm going to grab a formation that I find is doing well for me in the Infinity Arena, and I'm just going to explain it. I'm going to talk about its advantages, disadvantages, where it excels, how you can use it to beat volleyballers, and hopefully even win events, which is something I'm going to be hopefully doing this weekend or the next. I have to see with this formation. I'm just going to talk about the formation first, then we're going to see some gameplay, but throughout that gameplay viewing, I'm going to be pausing the gameplay, explaining what you're seeing and why you're seeing what you're seeing, and I'm just going to really study and examine my gameplay. And it's something I also invite you guys to do, maybe not in this capacity like uploading videos and things like that, but I really advise you guys to kind of record your gameplay and kind of view it later for your own viewing. But that's the introduction aside, I'm going to explain this 442 right here, guys. So there are some strange things going on here, but first, after showing you this formation, I'm going to talk about my results with this formation. Now, the results have been crazy. I'm just gonna say that beforehand. Like, I've written it right here, 22 games, of which I won 20, and I lost 2. That places the win rate at an incredible 90%. Now, is that a kind of believable win rate? Is it something I can keep up? Can I keep up a 90% win rate with this formation? Definitely not. Like, there are many factors that kind of you have to consider. You have to consider handicap, you have to consider how many penalty shootouts have been won. In this case, which is still very interesting about this formation, there was only 1 penalty shootout in the 22 games. So I didn't really rely on penalties. Not that I can rely on penalties to win, everyone knows my luck with penalties, but the win rate there it's good. I won't say that it's not, but it's not realistic. Okay, so let's just kind of get that out of the way. I still, if I go on a losing streak and lose kind of 4 games in a row, which is completely possible, that win rate should still be in the good 70-75%, which is the best I can do so far. Now, is that something that everyone can do? I'm not sure. Some people might find this formation, tweak it a bit, and do better than I can. Well, that's something I invite you all to try. Now, I'm going to talk about the tools that you need to get this formation going. I'm just going to say that you need the usual super players. Like, you need the baseline of super players has to be there. Now, at the end of the video, I will talk about alternatives, so stay tuned for that. But you'll need, so these are the tools, guys, that you will need, okay? A level 11 Prowler. So why must this Prowler be level 11? He must be level 11 because of the insane speed that Prowlers get, 39, which is very solid. And the rest is pretty okay, 27 power, but they have to be level 11 and not 10, guys. Because at level 10, they only have 35 speed. Look. And at level 11, Prowlers become a tool that you can use to catch defenders on the wrong foot. Now, we have 2 of them up here. Obviously, my captain is a Prowler, so I don't need an extra one. So, you have to kind of change your captain also if it's a hammer, but the thing is that you still need hammers in this formation. 2 of them, in fact. They don't have to be max. Mine are max because I'm in the volleyballing arena, or also known as the Infinity Arena here. So you can see 48 strength, insane strength to be able to battle volleyball with. That's basically the whole premise of this, of that toolkit. Now, I'm just gonna go ahead and explain the formation. Romero is the keeper here, and I've already talked about why I think Romero is the best keeper in the Infinity Arena, so he's there. I'm not going to explain anything about that. Then, as I said, 2 hammers to counteract volleyball with. I will release a video about that eventually. I have to get around to it. Then we have fast defenders, guys, and listen to what I said, fast defenders. So this the Voyager, for example, Patricio or a level 10 Explorer isn't fast enough, guys. These players are not fast enough. In the Infinity Arena, you need all the speed you can get, especially because these guys will need help with wingers. So with a lot of speed, these guys here, Bertini and Keane, with a lot of speed they can make up for the less speed that the hammers have. And obviously they will be able to chase down their own problems in the heart of the defense, but as I said, they can also help on these sides of the pitch where the hammers kind of will be caught on the wrong foot if you encounter people using a 4-3-3, 3-4-3, or any other formation with 3 or fast attackers. Now the midfield is where things really get interesting, guys. This is a bit of a little backstory, okay? So in my vacation, every now and then when I was on some train rides and things like that, from one place to another, I kind of thought about how volleyball can be tackled, in the sense that you can usually use hammers to kind of intercept volleyball, but how can you make volleyballers' lives even harder? You can do that by having strong players on the wings, not only in defense, right? Because when they start pinging the ball around the pitch all the time, sometimes you can kind of catch them on the wrong foot with a very tough player that will intercept the header. Now, these guys here are Junior and Matsumoto, the Bulldozer. I'm going to refer to Matsumoto as the Bulldozer because I have a friend, Captain, who is also named Matsumoto. But here, the premise is that these guys are also very, very strong. Why does this help? As I said, when volleyballers ping the ball around, they try to always rely on their friend Captain level 11 to kind of head the ball all the time from one place to another. Tall and strong players like Junior and the Bulldozer can be very useful. What's more, they are also pretty okay on the ball. As you can see, guys, they don't dribble too much, but I will talk about that later in the list of pros and cons of this formation. Now, even more interesting is the fact that we don't have any safe players to pass the ball to in the middle, but they are very highly responsive. Here we go, Sandberg and Badir the Prowler. Now these guys here, if you know how to use Prowlers, you can kind of get away with using them to create, your play. But it will be obviously very risky, which is something that I will completely admit outright, okay? This is a risky approach to the game, I won't deny that. Then after the midfield, we have the attack, very simple, 2 Prowlers, level 11. These guys are good on the ball, they don't dribble a lot, and they shoot completely on sight, which is something that I really am enjoying at this moment in time, because I'm scoring some absolute bangers from, 40 meters away from goal. Now, I'm going to talk here about the pros and cons. So what are the pros and cons, the advantages and disadvantages of this team? The very first advantage is that we have 4 extremely strong players. Who are the extremely strong players? It's very simple, guys. 2 hammers at the back, Junior with 45 strength and the Bulldozer with 45 strength as well. So this helps in corners. In fact, in corners I am rarely conceding a goal, to be honest. It's kind of obvious because you have so many tough players, everyone's really tall, everyone's strong. It's good to, in that scenario, also to score corners. It's even, it's better as well. Now, another pro is that we have a lot of reaction in the middle of the field. So these guys with 50 response, a combined 100, they will be able to, just steal balls. They're always ready to react, always ready to also, which is something I'll mention in the next point, they'll also be ready to shoot. So, you know, just a total package there. The problem, obviously, as I said, is that they're a bit risky to play. Now, the next pro is that everyone is a shooter, guys. In this formation, almost everyone is a shooter. Even these guys back here, they're hammers. They shoot from, when I say shooter, I mean they shoot from a long way out. And that's a very different thing about this formation compared to other formations. Everyone here, even if you think about the midfield, even if you think about the strikers here, everyone shoots. Like, if the ball falls kindly at the kind of edge of the box, my players will shoot. They will always shoot. And this creates a dozen chances for me every game. Because the ball, unlike players like Zivkovic here or, you know, Jones, who really hate shooting, if these guys get the ball, they won't try to create an assist, or they won't try to have to ping it all to the other side of the field. They will shoot. And in most cases, seeing as they have a lot of power, shot power here, you can see the bulldozer as well, 40. These guys, even, it's so simple, just draw a straight line, goal. Okay, it's crazy. The shooting here is crazy in this team. And the last point is that, the last pro is that we don't have any problematic dribblers or people who, you know, like Patricio in the midfield, for example, or anyone who kind of is a problem when it comes to dribbling. We don't have kind of speedsters or intruders here that can be problematic to give them the ball. These guys, if you like, Junior is the riskiest, as well as obviously these guys here, but I'll talk about that eventually. These guys are okay on the ball, on the wings. As long as they have some space, you can make it work. Now, the cons. What's the problem with this formation? What can happen in this formation? Like, I'm being completely transparent here. I'm not trying to sell you a formation that is not risky or anything like that. This formation is risky, but it's extremely fun and effective so far. So the risky midfield is the first con that we have, guys. So the midfield, I'm talking about specifically the heart of the midfield, the center midfield. Here you have to know, as I said, how to use prowlers, but even if you know how to use prowlers, you know, you will lose balls here. So I always advise to kind of use Matsumoto, the bulldozer, and Junior to build up your play in the midfield, and then you can liberate the Prowler and Sandberg eventually, hopefully, to shoot. Now, also something that we haven't mentioned is that, and this is another con, is that we have the midfield and attack of full running players almost, except for the bulldozer. And what does this mean? Seeing as the Prowler here and Sandberg are fast players, kind of, and they push, they're faster than Junior and the bulldozer, but they also push upfield. Now, that can create a problem when these guys go up here along with the Prowlers, and the midfield will basically be empty, completely empty, except even Junior pushes upfield. So there are cases where you will just see an empty midfield, and you have to be lucky and kind of intelligent to not lose the ball in that situation. We also, another con here is that we don't have any pure speed. We don't have, you know, someone who has 50 speed, and like Sabre, Abubakar, and intruders. You know, we don't have anyone who can just switch the game on in that sense. We have to be careful with our possession, building up play, and exploiting the response of Prowlers. And the last con, which is obvious in my opinion, is that we have slow fullbacks, and that we're doing that because of volleyball, and as I said, we can use the fast nature of our center backs to cover this problem. Now, guys, onto the gameplay we go. Okay, guys, onto the gameplay we go. Now, I've chosen some games here for you guys to see, and as you could see, I'll rewind the video just a bit. We are dealt a volleyballer here. As you can see, his stats 352, some guy called Benitez, a hammer volleyballer. He was playing two hammers up top, classic volleyball here. He won the kickoff bid, which is obviously a problem, but Let's see how I defend here. I'm selecting Matsumoto, and basically in the entire midfield, it's that kind of game so far. I mean, I know that when it comes to volleyballers, I'll have to stay kind of pay attention to when the header comes in. In fact, I am drawing Keen away. And in this situation, as you can see here, guys, I am showing, yes, my cursor is showing, this guy here is completely alone now. It's gonna be that kind of thing. He doesn't even he doesn't even see the option, and I'm lucky that situation turned out well for me. Now here I make a mistake. I should have given it to Junior. Instead I've given it to Sandberg. And yeah, so far not a good game. I mean, it's gonna be difficult. I knew that like the moment I started, but now my hammer is correctly marking my opponent's hammer, but some way he still manages to get a header in. He was unlucky, but he was still lucky with the rebound, so you know how it is, guys, against volleyballers. Now it's basically a matter of trying to catch up, getting a goal as soon as possible so that, you know, I could make something happen. I'm using my Prowler, who is at the back in the midfield for some reason. And in this formation, guys, you'll see a lot of chaos. Like, there's gonna be a lot of, you know, Prowlers running around. You can never, it's not a formation that you can use all the time, like in the same way. And look at this, guys, I'm not sure if you saw that, but look at how lucky this guy is here. Let's go back. I lose the ball with Sandberg here, which is fine, but now look at what Sandberg does, guys. Look at this is insane. So now I press with Sandberg here. He manages to steal the ball really well, but how does that even work? Volleyballers are some of the luckiest people I have ever seen in my life, so you know, you just have to keep on cracking, and that's exactly what I did here. Matsumoto now is pressing. He's using, as I was saying in the beginning of the video, guys, he's using his players to kind of ping the ball all around the field. In this situation, I couldn't get Junior or Matsumoto to, you know, kind of tackle and head the ball or something like that. He kept the ball forever. Now I selected Bertini, but, you know, it was too early for him to send across. This is some very boring games, guys. I mean, it's always the same with volleyballers. It's always the same. Now I somehow get the ball, and I am about to create my attack, but now there is a bit of a problem here, because as you can see, my Prowlers aren't running at all. No runs whatsoever. So we get a good foul here. 45 seconds on the clock, just that. Like, and in fact I don't even play it back to the keeper. I just played between the Matsumotos now, and you can see that Matsumoto is pushing a bit up the field. Now I have a lot of players, guys. Look at this. I'm gonna pause the video right here and rewind just to see the options in the middle of the field. In the attacking third, rather, we have a Prowler. We have another Prowler here. We have that is my captain over here, and we have Junior, but that's not even all, because as you'll see, I remember this game actually. Look at what the Prowler does, and look who we have here. Look who we have here, still pushing up the field, and as I said, he's a shooter, so he's not going to dribble or anything like that. He's like, the midfield and attack is full of shooters, guys, so that is one of the beauties of this formation. It's that, and look at this, high press, guys, always pressing at first with your strikers. You can catch your opponent on the wrong foot, and there is the Prowler, and that's the goal for the 2-1 win. And this volleyballer loses, guys, after, you know, 7 wins in a row, always volleyballing, but it didn't get any wins, at least not this time. Okay, so now we have another opponent, 4-3-3 this time around. 24,000 games almost. Max captain protector, Abubakar as a top scorer, which is a good change from the other zombie, if we can call him that, to be honest. And now I win the kickoff bid, so I am free to kind of build my attack as I want. Now Matsumoto, actually my friend's hammer here, this is something you'll see a lot, guys. Me creating stuff with my hammers. And now Sandberg, of course, loses the ball, but I'm going to pause it right here. Why, guys? Because this is something that you'll see very often. When going for clashes, okay, on the wings, and by clashes I mean when players kind of battle for the ball in the same instance, as you can see here. That's the volume, not gonna raise that. But look, Matsumoto with a lot of strength, more strength than Keen, who is the other guy, gets to the ball. And we'll see this a few times in this gameplay, guys. That is a very important benefit of this team. And now look at the Prowler pushing up, finding space, and I chuck the ball in the middle, and because there was no clear kind of receiver on the other end, so I just chuck it there and see who gets to it. My Prowler gets to it and we're winning. Now I'm defending with my other Max Prowler, and you know, it's a good option, guys, to press with that kind of with your attack. As you've seen in the first game, I won the ball and the game through my Prowler's pressing. Now he's playing a 4-3-3, which kind of is a very attacking formation, and defensively this formation isn't very good, I have to say, but it has other strengths, as you could see. A tall player there, Matsumoto getting the bulldozer, I'd say, getting to the ball. Now here is a very important choice that I make, guys. So the guy marking him is Keen, alright? Now obviously Keen is much more fast than the Prowler, but I chose to give him the ball behind him because I knew that as the furthest player up the field, the Prowler would pass it back, and that's what he did, because there was no point in giving him a long ball in that situation. He would have lost against Keen. Now, as you can see, Junior here running with the ball a bit too much, so that's a bit of a problem. It can be a problem at least, but he is also good in passing the ball back, as you can see here. Now it's just improvising. This formation is all about improvising and trying to see where your strikers and midfielders lie, because in this situation Sandberg is a midfielder, and as you could see, guys, he is a shooter, and he scores the second goal with a lovely left-footed shot. Okay, now we have a 3-5-2 player, as you can see, not a volleyballer, although he did try to, if I remember well, chuck a header in, but I'm not going to complain because I chucked a few headers of my own in this game. Because, as I said, guys, this formation is full of very strong players. And what are very strong players good at? They're good at helping you in corners and even free kicks. Because obviously you can try headers that way. And here, this was my first game today, as a matter of fact. And when I start playing, like the first game I play on any given day is gonna be my worst. So I wanted to show you guys a game in which I made quite a few mistakes, because that's completely normal. And here's he tries a headed ball. I'm lucky in this situation, because obviously Romero can claim it that way. And yeah, I was gonna show you a footage of a loss, which is something that I intend on showing you guys. I'm not gonna show you just wins in these Titan tactics here. I'm just going to show you whatever games I see as important. And in this game here, I try a ball to Matsumoto because that's a good tactic here, but unfortunately he gets tackled in a way that he somehow keeps the ball. Whatever, I mean. So now it's Zivkovic. Look at the Prowler, already quick to get the ball, and in fact he does, because so much response eventually will mean that you will get the ball, people. Now Junior here, and this is a bit of a problem because the Prowler is in a very weird position, but Matsumoto is doing really well, man. Yeah, in that position, he's excellent. And now, first example of free kicks being extremely powerful for this team. Now you could see also here, look, we have many running players, and a running player in that situation was the Prowler. I could have given him the ball, but I was a bit scared that he was offside, so I just went for the header, and luckily for me, it ended up in a goal. Now, this is some pressure with my Prowler. We're gonna see here that, you know, there is a fast player running there. I select Keane in time, but it's a header, funnily enough. And it's a good save again by Romero. Now, look, guys, when it comes to defending corners, I don't have to select anyone because it's so strong. Like, I have hammers and strong players almost everywhere on the outskirts of the midfield and defense. So, nothing I had to do in that situation. So, now we get the ball. Obviously, great way to get the ball, you know, defending corners. And this is a bit of a problem here because I don't have anyone upfield. Now I try to play the ball to the Prowler, who had the good idea of playing it back, but Sierra was stronger in that situation and more reactive. Now, still battling a 3-5-2 here. Fantastic tackle by Sandberg. He keeps the ball still, and he's basically, you know, doing the same old thing with 3-5-2s. But here we have a hammer beating him in the air. These guys, this team is full of very, very tall and strong players. So the moment you have like your opponent tries a ball that is a bit too high or a bit too kind of close to a hammer, you can consider it yours, which is a really great thing about this formation, to be honest. Now it's a very delicate situation of the game. I know that there's 19 seconds left, so I knew that he was going to try a ball to his fast player. I am lucky that Keane was there. I selected him just to be safe. And now I have just 10 seconds to keep hold of the ball. So I give it to my Prowler, who gets a free kick. And you know how this will end, guys. It will end with another header, because there are so many in this team. So many tough guys that I could have the liberty of scoring with a header. Now let's fast forward a bit here, because we play a very, very tough opponent. Here, 278 gold medals, 442. Matsumoto top scorer, so he was probably a volleyballer. Solid win rate, 15,000 stars, so this was an excellent test. It ended up, I won't give any spoilers, right? But let's see. I win the kickoff here, and I start creating my play with the Prowler to kind of push things up the field. And now look at this, guys. I didn't have anyone to play the ball to that was kind of, you know, simple. Like, I didn't have a simple pass here. So let's look at the Badir here. There was no one to play the ball to, really. I could have tried Ortiz to play it back, but instead, things worked out even better because I spotted a run there by the Prowler. As you can see, the whoever defender, friend, captain or whatever was marking him is too slow. And now the angle is tough. Like, I don't think you can score from this angle. This guy is blocking, the keeper is completely in the middle, ready to kind of save. He saves it, but I get a penalty. And I scored the penalty for the 1-0. And now he is playing also, I forgot to mention this, with Aboubakar and Sabre, so two very fast forwards. You can see Aboubakar right here down below. And yeah, now he plays a bit of a weird ball there to Jones, who has to try to catch up to the ball. I get lucky in this situation, but obviously it's his mistake, so I don't really classify it as luck if, you know, people make those kinds of mistakes. Now, why do I give it to Bertini, guys? This is something also very important. Look at the midfield here. Now, Sandberg is unavailable because he's pushing upfield. The Prowler is marked here by this guy in the red. My hammer here is kind of close to some other tall guy, so it's not really a very good option. So I give it to the only player who has some space, which is Bertini. Is it risky? Yes. But Bertini and Keane aren't as silly as some people might think. They do play the ball when they feel their mark coming, and in fact Sandberg here has all the time and space in the world. He tries a flick, which kind of gives me a bit of a heart attack, but look at this. Prowler here, completely alone, and he shoots on sight. Now this is where things get a bit hectic, because I tried to draw a few lines, and for some reason it didn't register, so I just kind of chucked it in. This is a very important situation, guys. Some people will say, oh, it's just luck because, you know, the rebound and things like that. The way I set up my team, I don't think that it is luck. And I'd be the first to admit if I'm lucky, guys. Just don't get me wrong. But seeing as Junior is both strong and, more importantly in this situation, he has the running ability. He was there. He was pushing into the space and he was there for the rebound. And in fact, it's an empty net. He has enough strength, shot power, I'd say, to, you know, kick the ball into the empty net. Now, let's try to find another game here. Okay, this was a very good match, actually. Like, it's an interesting match to see, because I was playing against a 5-man defense. So in this video, we've played against a 3-5-2, a 4-3-3, and now I'm going to show you some gameplay against a 5-2-1-2, which is usually very difficult, because 5-man formations are very solid in defense and there isn't that much space. And now look at Ortiz, the Prowler. Now, this is a reason, guys, why I kind of told you that it's important for your Prowlers to be level 11, not 10, because look, the guy who is marking him is either a Voyager or an Explorer. So they are fast players, but with even more speed than a level 10 Prowler. Level 11 Prowlers can kind of make it work. And look, I have some options going up the field, and it's my captain who scores the 1-0 goal. So, so far, you know, I hope that I've shown you enough how many people we get up the field and how many people shoot on sight. This formation is fun. I am really, really enjoying it. I hope to win a few events with it, because it is really just, it's fun. It's something different. It's not a unique formation. 4-4-2s tend to be a bit too boring in my opinion, but I love it, man. It's really different. And now, as usual, guys, and this will happen a few times, yes, in this match, I am pinging it against, like, between my hammers. I'm just trying to see what happens, and I'm going to wait until someone actually makes a run. And now I can see the Prowler with some space, not a lot, but he's there. Plays it to the hammer still, but now that's the game, guys. That is the game, because look at the space in between his defenders, which is something very rare. Who is ready to dive into the space? It's that level 11 guy over there. And as I said, guys, shooting on sight. I'm actually surprised that my Prowler took an extra touch in the situation here, and that's all. So I hope that, you know, you guys try this out, because if you have the players necessary, you can have a blast with this formation, guys. Now I'm going to talk about some alternatives. So on to the player alternatives we go. Now in this formation, guys, I'm not going to lie, you can't do without most of the players you're seeing on your screen, unfortunately. So obviously you'll need 2 hammers here, as I said, which is kind of attainable. You can go on some Facebook groups and get a couple of hammers. You can also kind of play an intruder and an explorer here, that's fine. I'd still suggest players that are really fast. So Keen and Bertini are really good in that situation. Now, here is the least place you can experiment, because Matsumoto, the bulldozer, has a very unique behavior. He doesn't pass the ball at once, but since he tries to go up the field a bit, as you've seen in the gameplay I showed you, so you have to have a bulldozer here. Also here, the Thunder progresses things up the field quite a lot, a bit more than Matsumoto the bulldozer. So I think you still need Junior here, the Thunder. You can't replace him, really. You can try a hammer, but you'll make things a bit too one-touchy for my taste, but whatever. Here is a Prowler, which is a regular player, and you can also try another Prowler here. But obviously, up top, you'll still need quite a few Prowlers, so you need a good, if you don't have Sandberg, you need a good 4 Prowlers in this formation, 2 of which have to be level 11. So that's as far as alternatives go. And that's as far as this episode will go. So it's been a long one, and I really enjoyed it. It's something I've always meant to do. So tell me what you think about this formation. Tell me if you like this series, and if you want to kind of see more of it by liking, subscribing, and even becoming a member if you like, for a very small contribution. So that's all from my end, guys. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.